Hey, it's Quadix here. If you have time, please check out my other series. The links to playlists of all the what ifs I've done will be in the description. Check out the community tab. I use that for polls to select what videos I do and more. The link to that is also in the description. Please like, comment, Q, the letter, as much as you would like, or any other comments you may have, like what if suggestions and more. I read and respond to all comments. Make sure you're subscribed. If not, hit that subscribe button. Check out my Instagram. The links to that will be in the description. I might do a face reveal on there when we hit 10k subs. Feel free to DM me. I respond to all the DMs. Now that is out of the way, roll the intro. Hey, a quick announcement before we get into the video. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I will upload one video every hour of the day. So I'm gonna be uploading 24 videos a day in a day. When we hit 10,000 subscribers, I've done this announcement before, but I said subs on accident. So that's annoying. By the way, you're probably going to be seeing this in every video until I hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button and let's get into the what if or fanfic. Third try. The visit to the old man was interesting. When Kakashi first told him what had actually happened on the supposedly C-rank mission, he took a deep breath and calmly asked the genin to wait outside his office while he had a word with Kakashi. Yay, I managed to get through it. Naruto figured out instantly what was going to happen and walked out, but not before giving a shoot-eating grin to Kakashi, whose eye visibly twitched. He knew that the blonde knew he was going to get chewed out, and he was enjoying it. 15 minutes of chewing out later, they were called back into the office again, where the Hokage congratulated them on surviving the mission, and then congratulated them individually on their performance. Though things got a little awkward because he had nothing to praise for Sakura. After telling them to collect their pay from the mission desk, he told them to leave, except for Naruto. Kakashi told Naruto to be at their training spot at 8 before walking out. Naruto, I want to tell you the truth. Are you alright? Oh, I want you to tell me the truth. Are you alright? His eyes were full of concern. Naruto smiled softly. Gigi, I'm fine. I've made my peace with what I did back on the bridge. If I hadn't did what I did, those thugs would have continued to terrorize the town. Also, giving the country a wave to rebuild itself was enough to lessen the burden on my mind, he explained. He reasoned, searched his face for any sign of life, and exhaled in relief when he found none. When he had heard it the first time from Kakashi, he was so stupefied that the pipe had dropped from his mouth. Naruto had done exactly what his father had done in the third great ninja war. He could not stop himself from looking at the portrait of his now dead successor. Seeing Minato's cold expression, he was reminded of how Minato's mere presence sent enemies running from him. He shuddered as he once again compared the similarities between Minato and Naruto, imagining Naruto instead of Minato. Oh, Minato, if Naruto is even remotely similar to you, he will change the whole world. Of that, I have no doubt. Looking back at Naruto, he could swear he had seen Minato standing behind this Naruto, having the same expression on his face. Waving his thoughts away, he said, Alright, Naruto, but if you have to talk about anything, you're welcome anytime, he added a smile. Naruto smiled and walked out of the office to the mission desk to collect his money first. The Chunin sitting there glared at him as he handed the money to Naruto. Naruto only gave a cool smile, further irritating the man. After taking the scroll, he immediately used the Shunshin to get to his apartment. He had a lot of things to do. After getting refreshed, he sat down at his table and made a list of what he had to do today. First, put an order out for his Hiraishin kunai. They would be different than those of his father. Second, secure the money he had taken from Gato. That was the easiest as it won't be going into the bank. Third, work out a deal to get his special kunai for free. He would have to work on that a bit. Nodding to himself, he set to work. The first and last task he would be doing himself, while the middle one could be handled by his clone. He took out a paper and a brush and started sketching ideas for a new seal. The seal would be similar to the Nine Dames Gojo Kibaku Fuda. If he wanted his third idea to work, he would have to offer the Higurashi weapons shop owner something interesting enough in return, as his order was quite tall. Ideas swam in his head as he worked out the original seal. Gojo Kibaku Fuda was a simple explosive tag with a small addition, a replication seal that would create an identical tag. The second Hokage had designed the chakra circuit such that it would first replicate the original tag before exploding. Then the other tag would create another tag before exploding as well, and so on. This would result in a chain of reactions that had the potential to be as powerful as a nuclear bomb. The best thing was only the first tag would be real. The rest would only be copies. He frowned a bit. Obviously, he would not give this explosive tag to Higurashi. The 9-day must have labeled this as a Kenjutsu for a reason. He chewed on his bottom lip in thought as he tried to think of an alternative. He could modify a normal explosive tag to increase the power, but that was it. What else could he do? His eyes suddenly brightened up as he remembered his battle on the bridge. How he used the Kunai Kage Bunshin. It was similar to the tandem exploding tags, only it required a bit more chakra. I could simply replace the idea of exploding tags with kunai, he thought in satisfaction as he set the alternating seal to suit the kunai. Half an hour, he looked at the bag he had managed to create. It would be mistaken for an exploding tag from a distance, but a mistake was all it was. He created a clone who took a kunai and wrapped the tag Naruto gave him. Going up to the roof, he faced the direction where the training fields were. Pushing half of his chakra, he threw the kunai. Normally, a hail of kunai suddenly appearing would be a cause of concern, but since it was the clone's kunai and as such only a construct of chakra, it would dispel along with the clone. The clone watched with a self-satisfied smile as the kunai multiplied greatly. Seeing that the tag worked, he dispelled himself, which caused all the kunai to dispel. Gojo Kunai Renden was a success. Naruto gave a grin of satisfaction as he went through the memories. The tag worked, which means he could now go to the weapon shop. Gathering the tags, he stood up and created a shadow clone. Instruction already given to it. He then used the body flicker to get to the Higurashi weapons shop. Opening the door of the store, he blinked at the girl who was standing behind the counter. She wore a pink Chinese top with a green lower and had her hair tied in two buns. She smiled at him. "Hello, what do you need?" Naruto rose an eyebrow at her. It was obvious that she was a ninja from the headband, and one that specialized in weapons judging from her heavily calloused hands. "I'm Uzumaki Naruto." "You are?" he asked politely, of course. Tenten replied, "Higurashi Tenten. Nice to meet you." "Ah, so she was the daughter of the owner," he mused. "Tenten, I need 40 kunai, 30 shuriken, and 7 explosive tags," he said. Tenten wrote down the order and said, "Okay, I'll be back soon." As she walked away, he called out, "Tenten." She turned around, blinking at him. "Yes?" Naruto smiled and asked, "Could you also call your father? I have a special order I need to run by him." Tenten narrowed her eyes at him a bit, which he responded by giving a cool smile. Nonetheless, she went to fetch his order and her father. He looked around the shop a bit, blinking when the memories of his shadow clones came to him. He nodded when he saw where the money was hidden, a place that no one except him knew, that would only be used in case of emergency. He snapped back to awareness as he saw a large man coming from the back of the shop. He was heavily built, as expected of a weaponsmith. Even though his large stature added to the intimidation factor, he had a gentle smile on his face. Tenchi smiled as he saw who had requested his presence. No matter how many times he saw him, Naruto only looked more like his old friend Minato. "Naruto, how can I help you today?" Naruto smiled and nodded his greetings. "Tenchi-san, I have a special order that only you can see." He gave an apologetic look to Tenten, who gave a playful pout, but smiled and went inside the shop. Taking out a piece of paper from the counter and a brush, he started sketching. Tenchi's eyes widened as he stared to recognize the shape was being formed. It was the famed kunai of the yondaime, only a bit different. While Minato's kunai's side prongs were slightly curved in a semicircular shape, Naruto's kunai side prongs were straight, if not a bit shorter than the original design. The middle prong was also a bit longer. Unusual, like his father's, but not impractical at all. Seeing where Naruto was going with this, he said, "I can see that you want your design a bit different, but it can be done." Naruto then decided to put his proposal forward. "I was hoping to arrange a deal between us for a future discount on these kunais. A trade, if you will." Tenchi rose an eyebrow in interest. "Oh?" Naruto grinned and pulled out the additional tag that he created. "I think you'd be very interested in these." In 10 minutes, he explained how the Gojo Kunai Renden worked. At the end of his explanation, he put his offer on the table. "I keep supplying you these tags for free. In return, you supply me the special kunai for free. A fair trade, considering their battle potential." Tenchi rubbed his chin in thought. He could see that the tags had a very high chance of selling. Hell, he might even say that the value of the tags were higher than the tri-pronged kunai, as it was only an oddly shaped kunai and nothing more. Still, he needed to see how much thought Naruto had put into making these tags. "I don't know, Naruto. Don't you ninjas have a jutsu that multiplies the number of kunai as well? Why would you use this tag and not the jutsu?" Naruto had half expected this question, so he answered, "The kunai Kagebunshin is a variant of Kagebunshin, so it uses up a large amount of the user's chakra, leaving them very little chakra and a high risk of getting chakra exhaustion quickly. In my tags, you only have to push a little chakra to multiply the number of kunai by large." Tenchi grinned. "You have a deal, Naruto. As long as you keep supplying these to me, you can get your order for free." I lost where I was. Naruto grinned and held out his hand for Tenchi to shake. "Then we have a deal. You can keep these tags. So how long before I can get 30 of my kunai?" Tenchi shrugged. "You can collect them for me tomorrow." Naruto smiled and nodded. Walking out of the store after collecting and paying for the order he gave to Tenten, he blinked when he saw it was already early evening. Might as well get some training done. Master those jutsus back from the wave, he decided as he made his way to the Senju library. He proceeded to spend the entire night training with the shadow clones, which were in an absurd amount of 200. Suiton, Daiba Kafu no Jutsu, to his pleasant surprise, required him to reduce only 2 more hand seals, bringing the number down to 8. The Seriodon, on the other hand, would require much more training. Reducing the hand seals to 30 was good and all, but the Naidame was able to do it with just 4 hand seals. Finishing his training for the day, he turned in, exhausted more than he would like to admit. Naruto had a very uneventful start of the day. He got up at 5, did his regular running routine with increased resistance, came back and showered. He ate oatmeals for breakfast, played around with seals until it was 10 minutes to 11, and then went to meet his teammates, who were irritated and angry at Kakashi again. He thought that maybe Kakashi might give them something interesting to do, like another C-rank mission or some training. But no, they had to do some lame D-rank missions of taking the weeds off someone's garden, before Kakashi dismissed them, saying something about keeping up with training. After that, he was aimlessly roaming around, thinking about what happened after the mission. It was the only highlight of his day until now. Flashback. "Alright, you're dismissed," Kakashi said in his ever-lazy tone, eyes not moving from his book. Naruto groaned. "Come on, Kakashi-sensei. It is only noon right now. We have half the day to do some training." While Sasuke and Sakura didn't say anything, Naruto knew even they wanted something interesting to happen. Kakashi calmly flipped the page. "Naruto, I dismissed you already. You can do your own training now." He looked up from the pages, Trust me, it's better that you all trade by yourself right now. Perfect whatever you have learned until now. Eye smiling, he was gone in a puff of smoke. Sakura turned to Sasuke, blushing lightly. Sasuke-kun, would you go out with me today, now that we're free? As usual, Sasuke scoffed and walked away, saying, You heard Kakashi-sensei. I'm gonna train myself. He looked at her from the corner of his eyes. It's better that you do too. Right now, you're the weakest member of this team. Naruto winced at his teammates. Blunt words, but what he said was true. A simple punch was enough to take Sakura out, which was not a good thing. Shaking his head, he formed a half-ram seal and vanished in a wind shinshin, leaving Sakura to her thoughts. He was walking towards a dango shop when he saw Team 10 coming out, chewing on some dango. Smiling, he walked towards them to catch up with Shikamaru and Choji. Oh, Shikamaru, Choji! The mentioned genin looked up in surprise and smiled when they saw Naruto waving towards them. Yo, Naruto! Shikamaru gave a lazy wave, while Choji was more enthusiastic. Ino, on the other hand, scowled a bit. She never liked Naruto. He was too loud and annoying according to her. Naruto stepped in front of them. What's up? Where's Asuma-sensei? Choji replied, Asuma-sensei dismissed us for the day. What about you, Naruto? Naruto shrugged in response. Kakashi-sensei dismissed us earlier too. Very unusual of him, if you ask me. Ino couldn't hold back her sneer. Well, no one's asking you. Jeez, those were dry coughs. Oh, I don't like that. Naruto glanced at Ino and rose an eyebrow. Nice to see you too, Ino. That was all he said before he turned to Shikamaru, asking if he and Choji could spar with him. My bad, I got interrupted. Where was I? That was all he said. Oh, wait. Okay. Shikamaru sighed, muttering troublesome underneath his breath, but agreed along with Choji. It would allow them to see how far they have come, though he knew that they wouldn't be defeating Naruto anytime soon. Ino scoffed, smirking at Naruto. You really shouldn't be asking to spar with Shikamaru and Choji. They would wipe the floor with you, dead last. Choji did not like what Ino implied, and he prepared to defend Naruto when Naruto spoke before him. Amusement written all over his face. Oh really? Ino nodded. Even I can kick your ass. I bet that on the C rank turned A rank your team went on, Sasuke saved your ass and defeated Zabuza. Naruto looked confused and asked Shikamaru, How do you guys know about that? Shikamaru replied, Asuma-sensei apparently heard it from your sensei and told us. Naruto nodded and turned back to Ino. This was the perfect opportunity for him to teach Ino a lesson about how not to act like Kyo. I want to say it so bad. But I'm trying to stay monetized. He asked her, How about a spar, Ino? If you said you can beat me, then I wouldn't mind a workout right now before losing to you. Ino smirked, thinking she could easily beat him. Then let's go, training ground 10. After they reached there, Naruto and Ino stood in front of each other, with Shikamaru acting as a referee. This is only a spar. You only knock the other unconscious, not kill them. Are you ready? Even speaking in his lazy tone, he sounded serious. Must be a Nara thing, he mused. Naruto and Ino nodded. Falling into their stance, Shikamaru chopped the air. Hajime! He fell back after that. Naruto, keeping his guard up and deciding to bait Ino, relaxed and put his hands in his pockets. Ino scowled and asked, What the hell are you doing? Naruto cleaned his ear. It's just that you don't threaten me, Ino. Ino snarled and dashed forward, throwing a punch intending on breaking his nose. Her anger turned into shock when Naruto simply stopped her punch with one hand. He didn't even look like he tried. Shikamaru and Choji were surprised as well, but it was not as much as Ino. They knew Naruto was not the dead last, even in Academy. If anything, he was perhaps the strongest of the rookies. Ino's going to get beat up, isn't she, Shikamaru? Shikamaru simply hummed in response. Ino was getting very frustrated. Naruto was dodging her attacks like he had all the time in the world, and he was blocking them like they had no power behind them. She decided to goad him. Are you too afraid of countering, or don't you know how to counter at all? Naruto was quickly getting bored of Ino's pathetic attacks and pathetic ways of goading him. Better to end this, otherwise I'm gonna fall asleep, he thought. Catching a punch that was coming towards his face, he gave a devastating punch to her gut, knocking the air out of her. He didn't give her time to fall to her knees, falling with an uppercut to her chin that was strong enough to straighten her up, and finished off with a spinning back kick that knocked her a few feet back. Ino was barely keeping from crying in pain. Her stomach felt like someone had jumped on it for an hour, and she was pretty sure a few of her teeth were knocked loose. She barely registered Naruto's mocking voice. "You sure showed me, Ino. You're just as pathetic as Sakura. What were you saying about kicking my ass again?" Gritting her teeth, she fought the pain and began to form hand seals, only to get knocked out. Naruto shook his head. Some people are nothing but full of air. He then glanced at the other two, who were barely surprised. "Well, patch her up and tell her the next time blows hot air, it better be fire for her own sake." With that, he walked away. Flashback end. Okay guys, that's where I'm gonna end it. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next part. Bye.
Wanted a bitch who was on the move, but you on a goddamn late. Got that one in my bed and she just wanna sleep. Fucking up all of the sheets. She only wake up to eat. Do this shit every week. Like why you do that? Crying you wanna be great, but sleeping until the next day. Why you do that? Got that much in the bank. We go out, she order the steak. Why you do that? Can't explain it.
Huh, you thought the video was over. No, I'm gonna talk to you more. Okay, I'm gonna say a couple of the series. This will be at the end of every video, just in case you're new or you haven't seen all the series that I've done. The series that are continuing, that I'm continuously gonna be doing, is What If Naruto Was in High School DxD. If you have not checked that out, check that out. It's in the playlist section. All of these are. What If Naruto Was Pushed to the Edge? That is continuing. What If Naruto Learned the Shadow Clone, the secret to the Shadow Clone early? That is continuing. What If Deku had the Sharingan? That is continuing. What If Naruto Was Indra's reincarnation? That is continuing. What If Naruto Wasn't Dumb? That's continuing. What If Minato and Kushina adopted Naruto and trained Naruto? Now that's a bit confusing. Naruto is older. His parents still die at the same time, which means since he's older, his parents die when he's 6 years old. He's on a team with Itachi and I forgot his name. Shisui. Dang, I can't believe I forgot his name. The last series that is still continuing, that I have not named, is What If Naruto Was Uzumaki, Uchiha, and Senju. If your favorite series wasn't in that list, I'm sorry. Oh well. There's plenty of other great content here. I hope you enjoy your day, and you can click off the video now. If you made it this far, comment 2 Qs.